we watch as a cargo truck fades off, jerkily moving into the distance, riding a little low over its back axle, for sure. And as the camera pans up to the setting sun and everything gets lost in the sun, the camera comes back down, and as it does, it swings over Dalton's shoulder. You see a stout man approaching his 60s, just sort of signal to his two compatriots who are standing in front of him at that time to get lost. Standing in a parking lot, not that far from the Bubble Convention Center, near the docks of NSF, we find Dalton looking at his former race coordinator and longtime bookie, Stanley. Dalton fucking Hemlock. Get over here, you fat old fuck. Stanley.
Good to see you again, Stanley.
Stanley embraces Dalton, giving him a manly pat on the back, no more than 3, before he pulls away from him. So, long time. What brings you here?
Just been feeling the spirit again, you know. Decided maybe I want to get back on the track, do my thing, you know. It's been a while. That old habit never really dies. If you've got space for me, of course. I don't want to put you out.
I mean, it's been a long time, Dalton. I can't just squeeze you into a race. That would be unprofessional. Tell you what, for an old friend, you proved to me you still got the chops. I can make room.
I definitely still have the chops, but if I gotta show you them, I mean, it's no skin off my back.
Mickey! A young, approximately 19, 20-year-old comes hustling over to Stanley. Yeah, boss, what can I do for you? What you need? Mickey, what you think of my friend here? Mickey looks at Dalton and goes, I don't know, some old washed up fuck. What do I know about him? Stanley.
I mean, you'll be like me soon enough, Mickey.
Stanley very quickly claps Mickey upside the head right behind his ear. He goes, I'm a washed up old fuck. Show some respect. This here is Dalton Hemlock, and he was doing a sub-20 San Bruno run before you could figure out what to do with your pathetic little pecker. Mickey, despite being a disrespectful youth, is a hanger-on in the race scene. And so Stanley vouching for your credentials, immediately you see a twinkle in his eye. He sees someone. He sort of like nods at you. Stanley looks at Mickey and goes, Now, I have a proposition for you, Mickey. I know you think you're ready. I still don't think you are. But if you want to do an old school pink slip race Winner gets the loser's car, and winner gets a slot in next week's race. You're young. You have ambition. Are you dumb enough to try it? Nikki looks at you, Dalton, goes, I ain't gonna hold back on you, old timer.
You know, I wish you would. It's been so long since I've been in one of these, but I guess I can accept that.
Yeah, boss, I'll kick his ass for you. I want that slot. I'm a man of my word, Mickey. You beat him, you're in the race. And if Dalton's up to it, you'll be driving that sweet classic over there.
I have a preference for the classics. I do get motivated by them.
Mickey sort of leans over, a little past you. Yeah, I could part her out.
I mean, she's worth more in one piece, but you know, you do you. If it's yours, it's yours. What kind of gas does yours take?
Oh, I'm all electric, old timer.
Even better.
All right then. I suppose talk is cheap and time is limited. Racers, we're doing a coast road run. Classic up past the docks. Up to San Bruno Mountain. Hit the Tazari condos. Flip a bitch and come back.
Hey, Mickey, have you ever done this run before?
We've all done this run, old timer.
Good, good. I'm just worried that my taillights might blind you and you're gonna have to go on instinct. So, you know, make sure you mind your P's and Q's.
That's okay. You're going to get lost because of dementia or something like that.
Hasn't set in yet, you know. Could be tonight.
Boys, to your car, and I'll set you off. As they start walking towards their car, the camera fades out. And we see a Jacob, battered, not necessarily, worse for wear probably, and a, shall we say, doting Karen of a sorts.
Karen gives Jacob's shoulder another nice little squeeze.
He just a little jolt, and he's just like, "Oh fuck, fuck are you doing? You fucking
Don't want you falling asleep.
How long has it been?
20 minutes?
Just fucking whatever utter shittiness he was going through, just a little teensy bit worse, just right on the face. At this point, you know, a little bit more time has passed. He's a little tiny bit more there, and he's just kind of tries to look around the room, but just eventually goes back to staring at the ceiling. And then he just asks, just like, well, where's everybody else?
Well, Krill was worse for wear and needed some, well, let's say, fixing up. The timeline on getting in that body is probably advanced.
Oh, she's fine. Oh.
So,
Only a matter of time.
Patty and Troy are helping her along, and Dalton is off doing something that Dalton does. The best we can hope for is that he can be successful in what he's doing.
eventually he forces himself to look around the room, and he just, you know, eventually some pieces are starting to click, and he just goes, "The fuck happened here?"
Oh, here, yes. We got rolled. You didn't pick up on that. Yeah, we got rolled by kids.
He's thinking this is like whatever's going on with his head, and he just confused is the expression, and he almost even tries to sit up, but just
Oh, no.
all, just. I'm sorry. By who? You,
Apparently, some underlings, some lower worlders under the streets, they noticed us and picked up on us and decided to pop in and do some shopping. All the bottles are gone.
he just fucking goes to reach up towards his head and feels the cheek and just will jump. And he's just like, what? Who? The bottles? How many creds were those?
I don't want to think about it.
Oh god! Didn't we owe those to somebody?
They weren't ours, that's for sure.
Oh god!
Hmm.
How do we find out? Fucking wasn't Krill here back when that happened, or
That's actually why Krill is heading off to the Ripper Dock.
oh shit!
Hmm.
I'm guessing she got fucked up.
Well, you know that one good leg she has, the metal one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't have that anymore.
Oof. Can could she even feel that? And he just goes right back to just fucking laying right back down, just relaxing, and he's just like, he just thinks to himself, any idea where those kids went?
Not at the moment.
What else they take?
I'm not sure.
Oh god.
All I saw was the bottles, and frankly, I've forgot about other things. That's a good point, Jacob. I should look for those briefcases.
Would you
I-
like to?
Yes.
Okay.
And that he just goes, well, I'll be here, fucking. And he just fucking goes back to just staring right back at that ceiling, just dizzy and shitty.
Before Karen walks away, she plops her comms device and says, "Send Dalton a message for me."
Oh my fuck. I'll
You
try
can do
it.
it. You can do it. It'll keep you awake while I'm looking.
I'll-
Just
I'll- fuck, and then just groggily just starts grabbing the comms device and proceeds to tell the just Dalton that Karen's gonna be poking around at base.
no, hun. That's not what I want you to tell him.
Right.
Tell just a simple message. Say good luck.
Fucking, and just with that, just the singular GL, and then just send from Karen to Dalton.
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
XD. That's a weird message.
So roll, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
+3.
Everything is as it was.
Okay. Ah. Well, that at least makes me feel a little better.
As The camera comes down on Karen, having a sigh of relief for briefcases that, well, aren't actually known. The camera comes back up onto a pair of street racers sitting on a start line. We find in the middle of the street, in the docks section, about 2 streets over from the convention center, that you all are intimately familiar with. We find Dalton in what is now a 12-year-old hypercar of sorts, slicked out, light blue, sleek, aerodynamic. Next to him is a more modern, more modular looking car. All electric. And one Mickey behind the wheel, looking aggressively at Dalton, with nothing to do really, because the instant he puts his foot down, this car goes. He can't rev it. All he can do is sit there and talk shit. You ready, old man?
Bet. Don't be cringe, kid.
God, you old timers in your... Anyway, let's get this on, Stanley! Mickey, you don't fucking use my first name. Sorry, boss. Ready?
Ooh, that's harsh.
Set. Go. Give me a roll.
+0. Or 0.
So you are clear off the line first with a +4. He is a +1 off the line. You dust him off the line, despite being a non-electric car. The torque in his car is vastly superior to yours, but his reaction times are unhoned, untrained. They're that of a rookie at best. You go swerving off down a straightaway. The initial portion heading just straight out and straight down towards a hard left-hand turn. At any point, also I'll add for purposes, you can jump in anywhere I'm talking and add your own driving narration. Feel free to drop anything you want in.
Got it.
So buildings start whizzing by. The docks, the drones, the aero drones start flying by just as you head towards this 90-degree left-hand turn. Right? Now, there's mechanics to do here. This is a very crunchy thing that we will be doing. There's lots to do. So, okay. Now, give me a roll. So basically, I'll explain for the audience what we're doing. Every time we do a segment of this race, I will flip this coin. And if this coin comes up heads, then I have an event table that will trigger. I will roll for that event table, and things will occur on that segment. After I resolve that matter, then what will happen is...
Did Kai die?
Oh, that
Kai
wasn't
died.
just me.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
you
back.
died.
Oh,
Welcome back.
interesting, but the recording's intact on my side.
Did we all freeze for you, obviously.
No.
No?
Yeah.
Oh.
Weird. Okay.
You just went.
Okay, fun times. Either way, after we resolve the obstacles, we will both roll for movement on that segment. And that will determine who pulls ahead of whom and how they do so. Narration is up to each of us. Dalton can handle if he pulls ahead, how he pulls ahead, and in what way. I will handle Mickey if he pulls ahead and in what way. And then there are actions to resolve. If you want to shoot, if you want to call somebody, if you want to use some sort of car-based utility that you may have a la Batman style, right? This is when we will resolve this. So functionally, it is obstacle, movement, action. Same thing as any Fate fractal. Okay, so you rolled a negative
-1.
one. I see.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 for you. Mickey rolls a 2. So you're managing to stay ahead, right? But Mickey is actually gaining on you. His reaction time is not as good as yours. His skills as a driver are inferior to yours, clearly. But his car has some pick up and go. A proper electric motor just off, right? And so he's closing that gap down this straightaway as we work our way through this industrial park. 90-degree left-hand turn we go into. Give me a roll.
-1.
As you take this turn. All right, so I shouldn't have had you roll yet. Sorry, still working on my own mechanics. As you take this turn, given the drone and dock space, 2 drones collide in midair. It happens occasionally. Electronics, signal interference. It isn't a perfect system. Nothing is. It's built by humans. So a drone drops out of the sky and falls onto the road in front of you. Give me a roll.
Okay. Zero.
+4. Dalton very deftly navigates around this obstacle, coming into this left-hand turn. Give me your roll.
Zero.
Mickey, still behind you, sees you swerve over and follows your line into the corner, successfully avoiding the drone as well. You hit that corner and you just tick that tail out, round that corner just fine, taking it clean out. This
As the car straightens out on the road, Dalton just thinks about the burger he threw out. Oh man, I would have passed that back up if I had eaten it. God damn, it's been a while.
As you take that corner near perfectly at the apex, just tapping that apex with your rear wheel. Mickey, trying to follow this line, is not, again, as skilled as you. He is just trying to stay on you at this point. And as he rounds this corner, the camera can see out his windshield the Paragon Integrated Cargo Building, one of the major shipping suppliers for NSF. A vast building complex there on the docks that drones are continually coming out of and into. As you come out of this corner, you hit a straightaway, moderately sized straightaway, and off to the left you can see the shard shining in the distance. It's holographic displays giving off light pollution at quite a distance. And you have this straightaway through the staging and distribution centers of the port area. A second. Give me a roll.
-1.
That is a 3 for you. Mickey gets a 1. coming out of this corner. He doesn't have the correct apex, so he loses speed into this straightaway. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, Dalton looking back, seeing him kind of pulling and swerving out a little bit. You know, I'd be more upset at this kid if he didn't remind me of me when I started driving. That one will get you every time. Dalton grips the wheel and refocuses back on the road.
This, as you come out, as the straightaway finishes, you start to go into a long, sweeping right-hand turn. As you do, there is you come as you hit this long sweeping right hand turn. You notice there is heavy traffic. Give me a roll.
+2.
+5. Dalton has dealt with NSF traffic his whole life, let alone, race day. Just bobbing and weaving in and out of these cars, just gaining speed as you go. You look back and you see Mickey getting hung up on traffic, and you see through in the distance, through the shine and glint off the windshield, just somebody raging behind the windshield as he rolled a 3. Right?
Dalton, being on the road racing again, has this kind of moment where he just feels the grip of the wheel, the swerving through traffic, the adrenaline rush, the blood pump in a way that it hasn't in a while, even having gone through an explosion at the stadium and gone through all of the stuff they've gone through. This is a different kind of adrenaline. It's not fear, it's more of a comfortable adrenaline spike.
As Dalton settles into that adrenaline spike, the camera looks out the right-hand window as Dalton's past the traffic that's near stationary. And you see, just past the road, a sign, Purple Sailor, go by. As you hit the end of this long right-hand sweeping straightaway, you hit a hard left-hand turn. Give me a roll.
Zero.
As you hit this hard left-hand turn, it is a 90-degree left-hand turn, and you are essentially at the base of the Vasquez Hollow Logistics Center. It is a hollow ad covered. This is a company that makes and distributes holographic interactivity components and the software that run them. This spire that juts out on this corner is a NSF landmark because you can functionally see this godforsaken entity from near every corner of the NSF. They have pissed hollow ads on this spire that shoots out into the sky that might as well pierce God's ass itself. You hit this corner, you bank it. It's a 90-degree corner, man. This is nothing new for Dalton. You throw that tail around, fucking lose a little grip, power slide through, hit that apex, power out. Right? This is solid for Dalton. Mickey still finally clearing traffic, comes around that corner and actually does well on the corner. Not enough to gain any ground, but enough to not lose any more ground. He's trying to just get into that rhythm. He's done this before, but not nearly as much as you. After that 90-degree corner, you find yourself in it's a gentle rightward bending straight. It is the ever so slight right-hand bend to a straight that runs through the Javelin Industrial Corporate Park. This is a Red Sea subsidiary. They handle a lot of component manufacture for Red Sea. And so both sides of the road are functionally just corporate park that is all Javelin. Give me a roll.
Ooh, -3.
Work is letting out. It is packed. You successfully avoided the previous traffic, but it is both sides of the road slammed here. You do your best weaving and riding and getting in the corners, where getting around the cars as you best you can, but it is functionally deadlocked. And Mickey is finding just as much trouble, literally rolling the exact same thing as you, right? You are finding the exact same speed. This is, nobody has any advantage or disadvantage in this sort of just bottlenecked traffic.
Dalton, seeing that Mickey and him are even matched at this spot. Okay, this is a place where I thought he would get the advantage, but I'd rather take a lockup than him getting anything on me here.
As seconds tick by, the sun very quickly falling below the horizon, and the darkness that is NSF. The blackness sets in, but the glow and the hum and the dim of that ever oppressive light that is NSF comes full to bear. As you break out of traffic finally, you find yourself headed towards the most difficult, depending on what kind of driver you are, portion of this road race. The Farragut Galactic Launch Complex's switchback. This is a hyper acute angle that requires you quite literally to essentially turn your car around as you do it. And of course, on this kind of tight, angular aspect of road at high traffic, a couple of idiots have gotten into a car wreck. Give me a roll.
0.
Dalton successfully navigating around the car wreck, possibly using a little bit of the piece of the other lane of oncoming traffic as he passed that wreck. Give me a roll.
+4.
Mickey successfully navigates around the wreck, following your lead, swinging out into oncoming traffic, but he swings out a little further, and so it forces him to take the turn at a different angle than you. Dalton, hitting that apex like a fucking pro, puts his tire exactly where he needs it to be, swings that back end around, using the loss of traction that the all-wheel drive vehicle that Mickey has, an all-electric, is not going to lose grip on this corner. Dalton just pushes that rear end out. Fucking, you hear the squeal of those tires as it goes around that corner and just regain grip. Fucking, you shoot through that corner, gaining massive ground. Mickey does well. He rolls a 4 in total, but that is nothing compared to Dalton's 8. And Dalton just gains so much extra distance in that corner, adding to your already increasing lead.
I mean, that kid reminds me of me until that last turn. I mean, that's the first thing I worked on, was making sure not to get tripped up there. Should have done his drills.
You hit what's functionally a medium straightaway. It's heading into storage and sort of consumer rental portions of the industrial zone. Give me a roll.
-1.
Using the advantage of coming out of that corner at the perfect apex, regaining grip, Dalton just hammers it home down that straightaway. Mickey, on the other hand, coming out at an obtuse angle to this and having to like really force the car around, and seeing Dalton gain distance on him, starts getting frustrated and starts getting in his own head. And he rolls a -2 in total. And he absolutely chooses the wrong line coming out of that corner, and he just swerves over and back in and loses speed that he could have had built up coming around that corner, and he just sees Dalton gain in the distance even more. You come up on what is another 90-degree left-hand turn. As you do, maybe, just maybe, in the distance, we see a box fan pulling up, because that corner is right by Krill's basement. And the camera follows and detaches from the car and swoops down, and we find ourselves following a much slower procession at that point.
Okay, we're almost there. And Patty's like keeping eyes on the rearview mirror, and she's still got that white knuckle grip. She's like, we're almost there, guys. It's almost done.
You are freaking out more than we are.
Yeah, I'm driving. Would you like to drive with all these motherfuckers around me? No.
I have offered to drive several times.
Can you even drive?
I am programmed with driving capabilities, yes. I've mentioned this to you.
Patty just pulls off her sunglasses. She's just like, well, we're here now. And then she slowly starts pulling into the garage. And if Dalton's going to pass by this way, what she's going to do is like, she's accidentally going to get messed up and like have to do like the whole multiple point turn just to be able to get into the garage potentially. And so if there's going to be a moment in that where she could help by accident, is like pull forward, he slips through, and then she's like, ah, fuck. And then she has to pull back.
I will hold on to this as we move forward.
Krill turns to Troy and whispers in the best she can, still a low digital voice coming out. I believe Patty actually wanted to drive, and it is simply a pride thing, hence why she has simply ignored your invitations up until now.
Her erratic driving has suggested that she was under a great deal of distress. And Troy just says that out loud.
Patty doesn't even say anything. She just holds up the middle finger. She's like having to like turn.
We will discuss subtlety another day. Troy, do you have any objectives you need doing tonight? Or would you be able to actually assist me for the evening?
I have no pressing matters to which I need to attend to.
And I would appreciate your aid in a small task.
What is this task that you would like me to aid you in?
I need to prep myself for surgery.
I do not believe I am qualified for surgery on a body of your type.
You will not be doing any surgery of that matter. I am just weighed down with an excessive amount of tech that will just make it harder for him to access the main target.
I am not certain I will be qualified. I'm the proper qualified assistant, but I will provide whatever assistance I am capable of.
I believe you will be able to use a wrench. I think that will be in your capability.
Minor repairs are technically not within my parameters, but I believe I can maintain.
You've done a lot of things that weren't in your parameters, haven't you?
This is an accurate assessment.
It may sound wrong. I just don't want to be weighed down and heavy like this the next time I see Karen and Dalton. I'd much rather be at least ready and not a burden for the next stage.
Do you need any assistance getting out of the truck?
She looks at her missing right leg. Absolutely.
Troy just gets out of the car and
Hey,
walks
hey, I
up.
haven't finished.
Oh wait, that's right.
Hey,
We
hold
haven't
on a
finished
minute.
So that's why we've been doing this conversation. She's doing
Shit.
like she's doing a 12-point turn right now.
I forgot about the turn. Sorry.
I could have been doing this to remind you, like.
All right, the turn's almost done. Just hold on, okay? Jesus Christ, this is a fucking tight alley. It's like not even a small alley. It's like a normal sized road, and she's just like.
Here in Industrial Town, none of these roads would ever be considered alleys.
Look, just let me recover my pride, okay? God damn it.
Told you.
The back left corner of the truck is dangerously close to the wall.
Yes, I have the monitor right here.
Would you like more views? I can send out the drones.
I'm good. And Patty's just like staring straight ahead, paying attention to whatever tools are available for this box truck. She's just like slowly turning, and it's just constant, like, gets 2 degrees and then backs up 2 degrees, backs up 2 degrees, and it's just constant.
Pardon me, we are on turn 14 now. Troy, I miscalculated the expected amount of turns required. By Patty.
Well, either I turn small or I hit something. I don't want you to hit something, okay? This ain't my car.
Would you like it if I got out and guided?
No.
Troy is the dad. Back it up. No, stop. Slowly to the left. I said left. Hands going right, though.
Eventually get to the point where Patty's like, yes, get out.
Very well. And Troy just opens the door and gingerly steps out.
I want to roll to know how far we are through this 180 turn that is required.
Go for it.
I'm gonna roll just to see. We're at +1, so it could be worse.
Could be worse. It could be worse.
That's a +2. I think you have
Yes.
a +1 to your driving. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All
That's
right.
You know, I mean, I don't know how tight it is, but
Mhm.
we'll say 3/4.
Yeah, Patty's definitely over exaggerating, like with the tiny movements, because she's like super scared of hitting something. And now that Troy's behind her, she's like, I'm gonna go even slower now because there's somebody behind me.
Troy is maintaining a safe distance. I think he has accurately assessed that Patty's skills would require some distance just in case. Also, just getting some distance gives a good assessment of the entire situation. And Troy just, I guess, yells, turn 60 degrees to the right and pull forward.
Okay, and she starts like turning it, and she's like, Is this enough? And she can't even see it, like the wheels in the full tilt.
You have gone 2.7 degrees past the limit, past the recommended.
Okay. And then she tries to slowly turn right and like accidentally goes under.
You are now 2.8 degrees below the recommended angle.
Are you fucking kidding me? And then she like
Patty.
just what?
Breathe out as you make the adjustment.
Okay. She and she just turns just ever so slightly. Are we good, Troy?
You are pulling forward at an adequately slow pace.
Okay. And she pulls slowly forward. Then she gets into the turn and she stops. She's like, okay, what do I need now?
Now turn to the right and slowly pull backwards.
Okay. And she slowly turns backwards. I think this just whole sequence goes on for a bit as they're kind of
Yeah,
like
that's just
turning
it's
and
going to be a
turning
lot of back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
And we cut to Krill opening the back of the truck. Geez, that took way too long.
Troy, at the very least, can remember which direction is left and which direction is right.
Thankfully, you could.
As Troy starts to help Krill disembark, possibly following the directions from the last time, not just simply picking Krill up full force.
I warned you not to. Please do not again. Just simply hold me under. This wrist, these ribs are no longer there. That is mechanical plate. You will be able to hold most of my weight whilst not taking all of it.
My learning algorithms have already determined that attempting to lift your entire weight is not the most expedient procedure.
Indeed. What am I doing?
So,
Alright,
as
Troy, can you help me?
as we watch Troy and Krill and the door to Krill's basement slide up, as they walk onto this, it's an industrial lift. I mean, it's a big ass platform, and it, you know, the grating starts coming down, and you start to hear the screech as that goes down.
See you later.
Will you not be
Sleep
joining us?
well.
I gotta go check on Jacob.
The camera turns around and sees a pair of cars come screaming down this alleyway as Dalton, give me a roll.
That didn't work. +1.
Dalton, seeing out of the corner in advance his box truck, his college condo, and seeing Patty doing a bang up job of driving.
I haven't banged anything yet.
He's
Excuse you.
able to predict how nightmarish of a bottleneck this absolutely will be, and just scrapes through, and you can hear a little bit of the paint come off the wing mirror just ever so much as he puts it just onto the opposite wall, knowing full well exactly how bad this is going to be.
Not my favorite thing to do to my cars, but I guess if it's that a slam into the side of my box apartment, I'd rather chip some paint.
The car just zooms by and Patty's like, what the fuck?
As Dalton gives me another roll.
-1.
As he bangs around this left-hand turn, headed into a short straightaway. Mickey finds himself in a questionable situation. And Mickey's going to spend a fate point
I would like a spend a fate point.
and invoke his first aspect. Being a 19-year-old, he's still immortal in his eyes. As he screams into this, literally screaming to himself, "Fuck it!" And he just splits the uprights and loses both mirrors, scrapes up front panels on both sides, down the doors, just literally just ripping both sides of this car up.
Oh, this kid's gonna mess up my car.
He slows him down, coming into the left-hand corner, which allows him to get a better angle on the corner, admittedly, but still not gain any ground on Dalton. As you head into this short straightaway, you begin to leave the industrial area behind now. It's starting to transition to residential, but just before it transitions to residential, you see the last vestige of industry as you pass the Flex Prize security headquarters and their giant cartoon red and blue German Shepherd mascot being hollow projected out in 3 dimensions as it chases a cartoonish burglar and bites him on the ass over the road. Give me a roll.
-3.
So I'll let you self-narrate what went wrong on that.
It's been a while since Dalton's been on this track. Cutting through and scraping up the car, banging around, kind of gave him this split-second moment of remembering some of the more gruesome crashes he's had. So there was a hot second flashback of flipping his car, which he snaps out of pretty quick, but he realizes he had kind of disengaged from the vehicle for a split second, just fully left his body and gave up more speed than he meant to.
And in that moment, Mickey, while not overtaking Dalton by any means, Dalton is reaching the end of that straightaway by the time you can see Mickey successfully navigate around that corner, but he does successfully navigate around that corner and does hit that straightaway and engages that electric motor and just floors it, right? He is gaining. As you come down that short straightaway, you have a right-hand, left-hand chicane. Now, I will, for the purposes of the non-car people, a chicane is a curve followed by another curve. It's like an S. So you have a right-hand, left-hand chicane leading into the residential zone. Give me a roll.
Oh, -3.
As you take that chicane, what you discover is that a water main has burst on the road, and the road is slick. And so unexpectedly, Dalton has to slow down for this very quick jog back and forth, or else he might lose traction on that rear wheel. as Dalton successfully clears the watery chicane, Mickey, overconfident in his all-wheel drive electric car, just throws it into the chicane, trying to gain ground on Dalton, and he nearly spins off the road. He regains traction, he regains control, but he is losing time that he has just gained back in spades. As you clear that chicane, what you find yourself staring down is the infamous straightaway on the San Bruno run. This is a massive straightaway with a minor left-hand bend heading directly towards the base of San Bruno Mountain. It passes through so many residential just icons. The cryoscape residential pods where people are, rather than go to sleep at night, they pay to be frozen in pods and trying to eke out every minute, every day of their life back. Passing the budget cred suites, they bill themselves as a luxury suite for those who want to be more frugal with their creds, when in fact they're a weekly rental that is home for a lot of, shall we say, criminal shenaniganry. Right? We're passing the Nextwear fitness gyms, a complex that is not only a gym, fitness center, but also a place where people help get enhancements on their cybernetics. You're passing Drifter Depot, right? A budget residential location that has no facade or auspices. They have no airs about them. They advertise exactly what they are, right? As you hit, just slam it down this straightaway, trying to gain as much ground, as much speed as you possibly can. Give me a roll.
+1.
Now, do you want me to help meta, or do you want me to just do what I'm gonna do?
I like the pacing of this. Do what you're gonna do.
Cool. All right. Dalton floors it, right? Like, it's +5. Dalton's just straight away. Go for it. Gun that thing as hard as you can. As Mickey clears that chicane, as he finally fucking gets his traction back on. This is an all-wheel drive, all-electric car. The torque, the pickup on this car is massive. He floors it. And I'm going to spend Mickey's last fate point. And I'm going to invoke his high concept. An up-and-comer willing to risk it all. He pushes this car to its limit and floors it. And he has a he now has a +6 to his drive. He's closing in on this straightaway. He sees an opportunity. He knows where his car shines, and he's going to try and get up on Dalton's ass as best he can. But we are headed into the infamous 180. Right at the foot of the Tazari condos, which are actually some luxury condominiums situated at the very base of San Bruno Mountain, where what could be described best as somewhat middle class of some of the middle class of NSF likes to situate themselves. And this is a dead-end road directly into the gate of the Tazuri condos, where you have to just bang a 180 and immediately head back down that straightaway. Give me a roll.
Zero.
It's been a minute. But Dalton's done this 180 before. It's a 180. It's just a 180 at speed. That's all. Dalton slams it, drops that brake, fucking swings it around, lets up, and immediately hammers that throttle home, banging back the other direction. And right as you do, there's Mickey right on you, getting ready to try and do that turn.
As Mickey and Dalton face each other, Dalton heading back the other way, through the spin, Dalton just holds the bird up at Mickey through the spin.
Okay. Okay. As you do, Mickey's going to take his first action of this race. Give me a roll.
Zero.
You're moving fast enough that he can't quite get a bead, but he very quickly holds a gun up and pops 3 rounds right down the side of your car.
Oh shit. Guess the rules have changed a little bit since the last time I was here. Or I forgot completely.
Mickey drops his gun, engages a handbrake, swings it around, and rolls a +4. And nails a +6 to that 180. The handbrake literally locking up the wheels, disengaging the all-wheel drive, swinging that rear end around. It seems like Mickey has this portion of the course down pat, and he knows what he needs to do. He comes out of that 180 right on your ass. Give me your roll.
+1.
As you head back down the straightaway, there is a moderate bit of traffic that has sort of kicked up in this residential section. You successfully weave your way around it, navigating it, continuing on down this straightaway. Give me another roll.
+2.
Mickey rolling a +2, hitting a +4, successfully navigating traffic as well. Dalton starts to pull away, hammering it down this road. Mickey, on the other hand, unable to get out of the swerves that he needs to do to get around this traffic successfully. Doesn't gain any ground on Dalton, but is holding fast, only a couple of car lengths away. As you reverse this course, you're this massive straightaway heading down. Now you have the chicane in opposite direction. Now you have a left-hand, right-hand chicane that you're leading into. Coming out of the residential zone, punching back towards the industrial zone. Give me a roll.
Zero.
Predicting, slowing down slightly, water on the track. But Mickey knows too this time. And he learns from his mistakes. He rolls a +2. He ends up with a 4s in total. He's staying right on your ass through the chicane. You're leading back into that short straightaway past the stupid flex prize security dog. As you hit that, past that, just whiz past that red and blue mascot. Give me a roll.
+1.
You take the opportunity through that straight away. Yeah, he is lagging a bit. But only video, so I'm fine with it. You take that opportunity to take that straight away, and you just start gaining your ground back. You're just eking it out inch by inch at that point, right? We turn right 90 degrees. And as we do, give me a roll.
-1.
You're staying just ahead of Mickey as you bang it through that 90-degree right-hand turn as the camera pops right off and follows and just falls back down and just plummets through a roof, through a floor, into a basement where we find Krill and Troy once more.
Grating starts lifting up on the other side. Welcome to my hovel. So, a reminder, Troy, you're looking at about maybe like 30 feet long and at most 20 feet wide kind of room. Full nearly to the ceiling with scrap. All the walls are lined with cords and cabling that almost resemble more like vines in a jungle than they do proper cable management. Every wall panel seems to have been used for either a screen or a blueprint board or something of another, as is just littered with her dysfunctional ways. You see 2 doors in the room, and that's about it. Oh, and there's a shitty couch and a blender. Oh, come on in.
Troy's just looking around, taking in, all the quote-unquote scenery, and states, "Your facilities are very similar to the back rooms of the base that we have chosen."
It is why I found it such a particularly intriguing place to make residence. It aligned with my utilities quite well. This, pretty much, since that 1,000 creds went, this is where the rest of my money is in this scrap that I've collected over the last few years, over the last how many years I've been awake.
How long have you been awake?
I woke up when I was 15, but I purposely have deleted or lost memories over time. Some of them I don't even remember removing them, but seemingly. I'm sure some sort of subconscious program when I need that gone, but I don't exactly know when 15 was. I just remember waking up as 15.
How long ago was 15?
I don't know. I literally have a major block in my memory in which time coding isn't helpful to me. I did not know what year it was when I was first awoken. And my clock isn't all that great, but I'm pretty sure it's about 11 years ago. Give or take, but not too sure. That's not important. That's not what we're talking about today. Sorry. Here,
My
and
apologies if I have brought up anything uncomfortable.
I Thank you. I don't know how else to say it. And Krill clicks on one of the doors and it just and you see a very tiny workshop, like 10 by 10 room with a huge ass Krill, like perfectly to fit Krill on the other side of her, swivel chair in the middle. This is where we're going to disassemble any modifications I made to myself so that the dock will have easy access.
What will you need me to do?
I can't exactly reach the bolts on my back. I had a mounted drone back then that I kinda turned into Snip's legs without thinking. I don't have that arm anymore to do that work. But I do have the drill, and she just pulls up like a mechanized socket wrench. Any help?
My programming for drill operations does not revolve around mechanical repairs. However, I believe I will be capable of adapting it to the task.
Thank you. Whilst you are doing that, will be doing a major cache dump and consolidating as much memory as I can into as few drives as I can, so that if the Ripper Doc knows how to transfer the data, it's quick and easy for them. I will feel mentally impaired once these are removed for said surgery, so I would like to hopefully keep some on me until then.
I too have suffered several instances of mental impairment. I understand your concern.
It is quite scary to me. I have never had a memory device removed. I've only added more, so pardon the hesitation, but I really need this. And the one I could ask the surgeon, who was already drinking today, for their steady hand, or I could ask for you with your hydraulics and gyros and accurate ratcheting systems to ensure the most precise use of hands possible.
The Troy units have not used hydraulics since the Series 1. But I appreciate your consideration.
Krill actually just like does a quick duck it go, and she's like, "Oh, you're correct. I am greatly out of date on your models in particular. Pardon me." All the same, I hope the armature systems that you have will be... Honestly, if I thought the earlier model can do it, I'm sure you can. Krill hands Troy a drill, and then he gets a little pop-up for incoming blueprint instructions inside his own HUD.
You just see kind of Troy's eyes sort of dart like left to right real quick as he brings up the... Oh, sorry.
I forgot to mention, entering the room, I'm no longer the centralized network for me and my drones. This little room has its own network, so it's actually very easy for us to just ping each other messages without even thinking. Sorry about that.
How very fascinating.
It's something I'd like to install into the base so that the drones aren't, taking from all of my processes during the time. They really like to play there, and while I love watching it, it is quite consuming of my RAMware and operations similar.
I believe I would be interested in helping you in this endeavor.
For the next time, then. For now, though, if you see the drones in the room, you'll know that they're not even checking with me. They're just on their own having a time. They have a couple of charging ports in the other room, so they're probably just doing that instead right now. You even see that Snips isn't on her head. He at one point or another slipped off and did his own thing.
You mentioned that at the base, they were not like me. In this room, are they more like me?
They're... I guess you could say their free will isn't any different. It's just they feel like mom is watching less, and so they might change their behaviors a little. Do you understand that concept, Troy?
No, but we may proceed with the procedure.
Thank you. And once you open that thing, it just highlights a spot, and just a number 1 appears above that bolt, and just goes over about 368 minimum on the surface.
Inform me when you wish to begin.
As whenever you are comfortable.
Are they, seated in a proper position where Troy can begin to, disassemble and take off the...
You know what? Here, I'll sit in my chair backwards.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, as Troy leans in, and we see the circular bolt, and the ratchet drill, and you start to see it spin. The motion blur of the circular object bleeds into a tire, and we are back with Dalton on the road, banging a hard right-hand turn around that 90 degrees past Krill's place. Give me a roll, Dalton.
-3.
Dalton having to slow down around this turn. Because NSFPD, I'm not kidding you, it really did. Dalton having to slow down around this turn because NSFPD has somebody pulled over on the side of this road. And Dalton slows it way down, as does Mickey with those blues and twos going. You wind your way just past the NSFPD, not trying to gain any extra attention from the Popo. You hit that straight away, past this consumer storage, past the rental portion, and it's just on the edge of the industrial zone. Give me a roll.
-2.
Mickey rolling a -1 ends up with a 1 to your 2. Still cautiously, you willing to push it just a little bit more than Mickey, who's just right by the NSFPD at that moment, just gaining just inches on inches as you head down that straightaway, headed into what will inevitably become an absurd left-hand switchback at the foot of the Farragut Galactic Launch Complex. Give me a roll.
-1.
Still being cautious, but putting your foot down a bit. Mickey only rolling a 1 on this, still hasn't quite learned how to take this switch back. Still possibly glancing in his rearview mirror, nervously looking at those lights in his rear view. As he heads around this, you start gaining more and more feet on feet now. Give me a roll.
-1.
You, as you hit the gentle left-hand bend, running past Javelin Industries, again, an open straight. This is where Mickey's car actually excels, rolling a +2, total +4. He starts to close that gap a little bit on you. So you head into what now is a 90-degree right-hand turn at the base of the Vasquez Hollow Logistics horrid spire. Give me a roll.
Zero.
You bang that right-hand turn 90 degrees. Mickey rolling Mickey with his 3 to your 4. His all-wheel drive not handling that corner quite as tightly, not getting that rear loose like he needs to. Starts to just lose a few inches again, as you're only a couple car lengths apart from each other. Headed into the long, sweeping left-hand turn with the purple sailor now on your left. Give me a roll.
Zero.
Mickey, unable to control his car out of that corner into that straight, rolls a -1. And the all-wheel drive, the computer that does the calculations for the all-wheel drive, unable to know what it needs to, starts putting down power where it doesn't need to on the rear wheels. And he very quickly juts out and loses a little bit of traction and regains control. Heading into this straightaway with the shard off to your right now, glowing off in the distance now that this the nighttime has set. Just a dome of light encapsulating the shard. Give me a roll.
Oh, -4.
A straightaway. A straightaway is where you do not shine. Mickey, only a few car lengths apart, just floors it and starts gaining. It's now his front bumper on your rear bumper as you head down this straightaway past the shard, headed into a hard 90-degree right-hand turn by the Paragon Integrated Cargo Building. Give me a roll.
Zero.
Corners. This is where your car excels. This is where Mickey's car is not as good. Mickey rolling a +2, you to your +4. You bang that rear end of your car out, swing it around, hit that apex, absolutely floor it right at the apex coming out of that corner. Mickey's all-wheel drive, not knowing what to do with that corner, just trying to force it around. You can see him almost holding the steering wheel at lock. Give me a roll.
+2.
Coming out of that corner at the correct angle, Dalton just plants his foot onto the fucking floor, pushes that car across the finish line with Mickey unable to close that distance. His front bumper right on your rear bumper as you cross that finish line.
After crossing the finish line, Dalton skids it to a stop. Just drifts it into a sideways finish.
Mickey pulls his car into the parking lot where all of this started, gets out, and starts immediately screaming. He fucking cheated! He cheated!
I'm not the one who took shots at anybody. I mean, you go ahead and say what you want, but all I did was drive.
Stanley walks up and says, Mickey, you can't cheat when there's no rules, my boy. Give me the keys. Mickey, knowing the sort of immovable wall that he's up against, he may be able to make accusations at you. He may be able to throw shots at you. But if he takes a swing at Stanley, if he tries to do something, he will be done in the NSF racing scene. He knows he's got to take his licks. And this is one of them. He takes the keys and he fucking hucks them at you.
Dalton goes to catch them.
Give me a roll.
Zero.
With a +3 in total for his athletics roll. They hit the windshield. They hit the driver's side window and leave a little crack.
I mean, I'd be upset, but I can just sell you a car to fix it. Good luck racing on the bike circuit, though.
Fuck you, old man. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Fuck you, and fuck you too, Stanley.
Hey, enjoy the bus ride home.
Kid, calm down. Come back with another car. There's always another race. Stanley turns to you. You know how it is. They're young and hot-headed.
I remember it well, honestly.
And it seems like you remember a thing or two about driving.
I mean, I can be honest with you. It was touch and go for a minute there. There's a couple of those sliding turns I completely forgot about, but, you know, old dog, old tricks.
Stanley also does a little crane of the neck. It looks like things got a little heated out there too, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been a long time and I forgot to carry anything like that in my car, but, you know, maybe next race I'll bring a little accoutrement.
Well, if you want, we can park his car in the parking lot and you can come get it or send for it. However you want to do this, it'll be here for you. And you earned your slot in next week's race.
Excellent. I'll try not to get horribly beaten up before then.
That sounds like
Sorry, that's an inside joke. Don't worry about it.
Sounds like a good thing. I don't know what you're up to these days, but yeah, try that.
I've started new work with some people, so yeah, this is gonna help out doing these races.
People. All right. Well, speaking of, and Stanley and somebody, one of his two compatriots that you previously saw, comes running forward, and there's some whisper, and he gestures to the car and points over to where you are, and a guy comes running up and takes the keys from you and hops in Mickey's car and parks it in a parking spot right off in the corner. Stanley says, "It'll be here for when you want it." And the dude parks it, comes out, runs the keys back over to Stanley. He's like, "Here you go." And he gentlemanly tosses them to you.
Dalton goes to catch them and see if he fumbles them.
And he catches.
Thanks. Maybe I'll race this one next time. We'll see.
Well, next Friday, midnight, right here. We'll see what you've actually got. You'll be up against some real racers this time.
You know, it'll be nice to be back in the actual heat of things. Not that your young kid wasn't fun to go up against, but this is what I was looking for.
So you know, next week, it's a point race. No route. You choose yours. Cash purse. Buy in 2,500 creds.
Okay.
All right then. I'll see you then.
Looking forward to it, and appreciate you giving me this chance. Sorry I messed up your boy, but appreciate it.
Fuck him.
I didn't want to say it.
And Dalton, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Stanley.
All right, enough of that bullshit. And he turns around, starts walking off.
Dalton takes a look at the keys for a second, puts them in his pocket, and gets in his car to head back to the headquarters.
Give me a drive check.
I think I can't fucking kill this. I'm a little shaken. -2.
Oh. It's fine for a non-road race. You're absolutely fine. But, you know, the adrenaline is waning. The serotonin and dopamine hit that was starts to right? Like that's definitely a come down moment. Oh. As
I hit my desk because I was laughing and my camera just fucked up.
Discord is like tonight, I'm noticing a few things. Discord's tonight. It's a little shaky on us all, frankly. Thank you, Discord. Just as always, you know, our absolute corporate sponsor for sure. Yeah. Discord. They bang up job as always. Yeah. As the car leaves the parking lot, the camera cuts back to Karen and Jacob at a base where Dalton is presumably headed.
Well, Karen was considering cleaning, but that's not her style. So she's been staring at these briefcases. But, what to do with these, Jacob? What to do with these?
She caught him just as he was about to just nod off. He just goes, huh? What's the fuck are those?
Oh, don't worry about that.
Any
No.
word on the others?
I
He just
haven't.
kinda wipe the eyes a little bit.
I haven't heard a thing, dear. Now, I'm curious. What you thinking for this week? What you thinking for your fight, hun?
You know, call me crazy. Well, I don't think I'm in any shape for a fight right now.
there are ways, but yeah, the way you look right now, I wouldn't want to be in public, let alone fighting.
What? Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, you think I could just be good to fucking pull out for me? Oof.
Do what? Sorry?
Fucking Jigo knows the guy that fucking sets that shit. Don't worry about it. He's just rambling at this point to himself, just all fucking CT'd out.
Oh, gosh. So nice to talk to you. Oh, such a conversationalist.
Look, my fucking head's killing. Do we have any water here?
Yes, I can get you some water.
Ugh.
Karen obliges.
For
Leaves
the
Jacob alone for a second.
Yeah, for the first time, the man actually manages to just ever so slightly just supine position, just both just lying on the elbows, and just finally takes his first sip of water. Just reality's finally starting to come back to him a little bit better. Even though he's completely sleep deprived and just complete and still fairly out of it. Oh. Any idea what's going on with the job now?
Well, my first concern is making sure that little angels don't want all of us dead for no apparent reason. Beyond that, we can maybe figure out what to do with the job.
They had to have got a profile on us.
Oh yeah, 100%. I had no doubt in my mind that they knew exactly that you were tied to me, and I gave her my real name. So, yeah, now I shot her a message.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It taught me something. You taught me how I should operate with this group. If I want something done, I can't have any of you around. I gotta do it myself. And I gotta be explicit. So, hey, we all learned something.
Just another sip and just looks around once more and he just goes, any idea? Patty was in there too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Patty also is on my shit list. Don't worry. Yes.
They know her too?
I mean, we went inside. Miss Vivian, she saw Patty with me. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I went ahead and just shot her a message saying that we needed to talk. Because we do. I'm over being stealthy. I'm over being sly. It's gonna be direct.
Well, what's the plan there?
My plan with her is to tell her as little as possible about the job, but to let her know that our intention was not to mess with her or her organization. It was to mess with the Zakones. That was our intent from the beginning. We just made complete asses of ourselves. She at least seems reasonable enough. I've dealt with others who... they're more difficult to communicate with.
Well, I'm out of commission, so who do you want shadowing you there?
Right now, I don't know. I don't know. I would say Krill, but she can't move. I would say Dalton, but honestly, I don't know what the. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what. So, we'll see if I can rely on him at all. Patty, and then Troy. You think any of those are great options?
Just we'll shrug. He just takes another sip of the water. I feel like Troy would probably be the most solid bet there.
Yes. And the shortcomings of Troy are always apparent. He is wonderful, as long as he knows exactly what you want him to do. Now, yes, he will probably be the one to follow me. I would like you still, if you weren't out of commission, you would be the best option, but I would talk to you quite a bit on what I would want you to do before I ever set foot out of this place with you again.
He just finishes whatever water was left in the glass and just plops back down on the table. He notices the snark, but now is just not the time to fucking fight back. He's a very much defeated man as he currently lays on the table. He just half-hearted little flip of the bird, and then he just fucking sits there.
Speaking of defeated men, a winning man is probably hitting the end of the alleyway about now.
Dalton pulls up to right outside the door. His tiny supercar does fit this tight space better, especially since the mirrors got a little chipped. Starts heading inside the headquarters. Hey, how's everything going in here?
Been holding down the fort. How are you?
Pretty good. Admittedly, I wasn't doing that, but nothing too bad's gone off since I've been away.
How nice. Did you accomplish anything on your time out?
Yeah, next week I'm entered into a point race as part of the it's called the Racers Collective. I'm doing basically a cash run for, I don't know, whatever we could use it for. I know it's not exactly a team game, but I don't know, maybe I can bring in a little bit of cash flow we can use.
What kind of a race is this again?
It's going to be a point race, which is like you pick your own route to a destination and you got to beat a bunch of other cars there. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds productive. What does that have to do with tonight?
Not much. I just saw an opportunity. I knew what was going down, and I went and got myself signed up. It's there's only so many intervals, you know, that you can sign up for these things. So I had to go and get my name in the hat, as it were.
Wonderful. So we have another person on the books. Well, and she looks over at Jacob, looks back. We'll see if you make it that long.
Yeah, I did consider that, but I think I'll be okay. I don't tend to get myself into too much trouble compared to looks at Jacob. Other people in our crew.
Fair point. Okay.
Mm.
Is there
Eventually-
anything that you need help with?
Karen, give me a roll.
+1.
Dalton has walked in a new man.
Okay.
How's this guy doing? Goes to shake Jacob's hair.
The man is still awake, and he goes to swat the hand away, but just fucking it just ends up being a real lighthearted push. And just goes like, my fucking head's killing me.
Yeah,
He's a
you-
lot of fun to keep
Oh,
awake,
what's-
I gotta say.
What's this about races?
Oh, don't worry about it. If you think about it too hard, I might melt your brain out of your ears at this point.
Oh god. Ugh.
You don't need to concern yourself with it.
I'll tell you what, if you stay up for 48 hours or so, maybe I'll fill you in.
That's the plan. When is it happening?
Next day that ends in Y.
Alright. He just fucks back off to just like laying back down. And then eventually he asks Dalton the same thing. Any words on the others?
Interestingly enough, no, but I have a suspicion they made it back to Krill's place. Okay.
Alright. Wait a minute. And then he's again dots connecting. Didn't you say that Krill got fucked up?
Yes.
So what? Why is she going? Oh. Why is she heading
Dalton.
back to her? Go ahead.
Dalton turns to Karen. He really is scrambled McBrain, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hash
Yeah,
browns
he's-
would be great with him.
Yeah, he is struggling.
Mhm.
Just you know.
Yeah.
Jacob
You're
just
not going to
is
pick out
lost.
much.
Lost in his confusion.
Yeah.
Hey, it was that time for a random coin flip. Hey, Jacob. Blinding white light.
Just randomly, man just starts fucking holding his fucking head.
And Troy didn't even have to do it this time.
Just holding his fucking head. Karen and fucking Dalton can see the jaw tightening as he just starts fucking curling up. Oh, fuck. And he just starts fucking just groaning and everything, and just before he fucking can really say anything, he just says, get a bucket already.
Oh,
Just 'cause he
he's going to
starts-
yak.
Yeah. Just ears ringing, head pounding, and just anybody ready?
Dalton, could you help out?
Yeah, Dalton goes towards Krill's garage area to look for a bucket.
Technically, Jacob.
I already placed
in
the
the
bucket
garage
beside
mark.
him. There's already a bucket beside his table.
Oh, there is?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Dalton just picks it up and kind of hard drops it on his lap.
And just like that, just fucking starts puking. Just everything comes on out, and he just goes. Once he's done, he just falls right back down and just goes, oh, fuck. I need to see a fucking ripper, doc.
I mean,
Well.
he couldn't possibly scramble your brains more.
I'm guessing if you went to see one right now, that cost extra. So, you feel like waiting until the morning?
I can hold out.
Okay.
Dalton turns to Karen. By the way, it's Friday's the big race, just so you know.
Friday.
Yeah, hopefully we'll try to keep that day relatively drama-free. Not that we've ever done that for a single day, but yeah, I should be able to get that done in an hour or so.
Is there anything that would help you that we could do?
I mean, if Krill was in One Piece, I would look over my car with her, and we could potentially brainstorm some blueprints and stuff to make. But, you know, yeah, there's some adjustments I can make on the car, but I'm going to have to do a full report on what I need and what I'm going to take out before I get too far into it.
Good idea. Good plan. Talk to Krill.
Yeah. Think I'll let everyone rest for the night first, though.
Ah, speaking of, someone needs to stay here with Jacob.
I can do that.
At a certain point, Patty is going to say, "Hey, Cody," talking to the Codex. "Send a message, Dalton. Some fucking random assholes like sped right behind me and scratched the back of the truck. Just wanted to give you a heads up."
Dalton replies back, "No worries at all."
Okay. I'm on my way now. I'll be there in like 5-10 minutes? Question mark, question mark. And she says the question mark out loud, and the Codex sends it.
Beautiful. Do you think you could give me a ride? You, Dalton.
Oh, me? Yeah, of course.
Cool. As soon as Patty gets here, take me home, please.
Absolutely. My race is a little cramped though. It's got a seat. You're good, but it's a little cramped.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, I brought it back after the race. I
Karen
didn't have
immediately
time.
stands up and walks out of the room to walk to the car.
Well,
All
Dalton
right.
follows.
Karen, I want to roll from you.
-1.
It is a car. It looks fast. Yeah. You do not take note of any of the events of the race that are upon it. You simply see a fancy looking, sleek looking. I mean, it is an impressive car. It is, it's a pretty piece of kit. She is a pretty thing. But, car.
She looks like she goes fast. I think.
Yeah, she's yeah. It's been a while since I took it out, but it's it's won me a lot of races back when I was into that stuff.
You got a lot of cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been collecting them for a while.
Noted. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I think honestly, I think the box truck might have been one of the only ones that I paid for out of my own pocket. I don't know if you know a lot about the racing circuit, and I'm a little bit shook from being out there again. But yeah, we typically bet our cause, so that's where I get a lot of them.
Okay.
Karen, give me a roll.
Zero.
Continue as you will.
Do you think Patty's gonna forget and try to jam the truck back here?
Probably.
Speaking of which, I need a drive check from Patty.
There we go. Keep in mind, we're going back alleys. We're not going highways. We're just going very,
Yeah.
very easygoing as possible. It's a +1. It's good.
Okay. Congratulations. You're still making your way back to the base.
The radio's playing and she's like humming along, trying to keep her nerves down. She's like, "Damn it! Why did I put the alcohol back there? God, fuck."
Known driving aid, vodka. Yes.
Calms the nerves.
Yes. Yes.
Patty it does.
All right. Well, a camera cuts to a white knuckling Patty with the music playing.
I'm still standing.
Camera cuts back to Dalton and Karen.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She'll be fine.
Once she hits the first scrapings of a wall, she'll probably stop. Probably.
Yeah. I hope paint's cheap.
Dalton thinking about the expensive paint.
So this is your thing, huh? Racing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing driving for a long time, so this hasn't been a thing for a while, but it was a thing for a long while.
Okay. And you're good.
I mean, I wouldn't say I've never rolled a car, but I have won more than I've crashed.
Okay. I look forward to seeing what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a spectator sport, but the Friday race, I could have some +1s or 2s and bring some folks out if you want to see what it's all about. Knowing you might want to meet some of the higher players in there.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Thank you. It's also nice to see exactly what my people who are around me can do.
Yeah, I've been mostly sticking to just some tight driving maneuvers to keep us safe, but if I really wanted to open it up, there's a lot of knowledge.
At least I have one person I feel like I can rely on for something for once. Thank
Not a
you.
great planner, but I'm a great wheelman.
Just as long as you make it to Friday.
As this conversation depressingly occurs, Patty finding her way eventually back to one of the roads and parking areas adjacent to the base.
When am I supposed to stop again?
Give
I know there's some sort of
give
coming
me a
in.
roll, Patty.
Okay. This is also Patty talking out loud, so she's trying to like remember. Ah, god damn it. -2.
You drive right past where you normally would actually be parked up.
Mm-hmm. Is that me?
The
Am
camera
I scratching?
the camera pulling away from Patty, wandering now with a box truck in the underlayer of NSF, finds itself as a chunk, a segment of Krill is being lifted.
To Troy's perspective, the the industrious tan orange that she had painted herself, as you lift away, is exposed to shining metals and things actually painted of a tinge green, seemingly military. However, though, on the shining metal, there keeps seemingly being a stamp. Not really the greatest to make out, seems to be on a microscopic detail, but it seems to be you're getting down to Krill's original creation the further you go. As panels are exposed, you see her C-shaped back lined with processors, heat sinks, and just storage bank after storage bank, making this weird column along her. Cords and cables climbing up her. And you still see on your HUD, one after another, a bolt there, a bolt there. More still needs to be removed. She even is sending you a little update of her trying to calculate her weight as she lightly steps on her one existing leg. You're doing great, Troy. Seriously, thank you.
Your design seems rather inefficient and idiosyncratic.
There's a screen in the back of the room, and you see Krill kind of look up at it. And it starts to judder with these pink and yellow fractals as suddenly an image starts to appear. And it's very distorted. Every face in it is just lost to digital corruption or purposeful removal. It looks very similar to the footage of those professionals blocking their faces in the digital recordings we saw earlier. As you see a scientist lean over her as she's looking up to the sky. She's in a laboratory, dark lights and like dark and bright lights. Very little details to be made out, just these hands running over her, and you can hear the subtlest, "My design." I do not believe I was made by a person with the most put together mind. How did you say? Idiosyncratic?
Idiosyncratic.
He was... That is probably the best word to describe him. I can't recall his face. His badge has been digitally removed. I think he erased a lot of it. I don't know, but... And you start to see the screen turn a tinge of red, same as her LEDs. But I will not stop any of my work until I see him, a carcass laid atop it like a shining star to my creations.
is it safe to assume that you want revenge?
Oh. And you just start seeing the monitor swap to different scenes as you start hearing these salacious huffing and almost aroused breathing as he works on every little bit of her. You see him cutting into her. You see the screen shake with pain, knowing no anesthetic was there as he forced her to watch her own surgeries. I can't think of any other solution. That's why I am not done. That's why I need this fucking other body. It's why none of my work is complete. He made a monster. I will make proper creation.
As Troy is just moving more plates and stuff and assembling few parts and readapting his he's basing his actions off of the programming that was for his intended use of with drills and applying it to the understanding of the actual purpose of the drills, which is surprisingly one-to-one in a lot of cases. And as he's doing this, he asks, what's it like to want revenge?
It's... You've realized it's just that reminder that Krill does have lungs, as you see just even the metal plates, the lower exposed ones, have purposeful giving, like their mechanisms have give and take to them on purpose. As she... It can be all-consuming. Sometimes it is a feeling of bitterness. It's like your insides are on fire, but your blood is ice cold, and all you can imagine is taking the next step to ruining someone like they've done to you. And sometimes I can only call it energizing. But on days you can't do anything, on those days, that fire just burns you. It doesn't burn anyone else but you. You sit in its pain. You sit in its misery. And all you want is to put it on them because they are the originators of your pain. And while you sit spiraling in it, you know they're moving on to cause pain for others. It's... That's what vengeance feels like to me.
That is a very fascinating explanation. I too hope one day I will want revenge.
I think you will find yourself someone to hate someday, Troy, and someone to feel happy with. And I'm sure someone one day might even, I don't know, give you those little butterflies us borners kind of get. Sometimes when we find a human or other compatriot that much connecting. But all these feelings, I think they're in your range. I think you are something magnificent. And I'm sorry that I got so angry with you the other night, and I was... After you all left, I spiraled, and that feeling of vengeance overcame me. I wasn't sitting well with any of my emotions, including the ones from the night before.
You needn't apologize since I was in the wrong.
I'm apologizing for what my following actions wished. I was not in my right place, and I was not going to make the space safe for you. And that is not my intention. As suddenly you start seeing blueprints of the drones popping up, each one of them built in with new defenses specifically meant to keep out you. You see some of them armed with specifically like little EMP devices that, while would shut them down, would ensure that you did not access them at the same time. Like, there were some dramatic choices in these designs that start flickering in front of you. I needed to check myself. I wasn't trusting the people around me. And I let my guard down. Those little shitheads busted in our door while I was in the middle of making these fucking alterations.
Besides the previous action of occupying your drone, is there a reason for you to not trust me?
You are an unknown that is beautiful, but also terrifying. You have capability that flesh and blood could only hope to, and knowledge that often is forced on us was never forced on you. Like ethics, consent, understanding feelings. You can't understand guilt, at least not on the level that one just born could. At least not yet. It would be akin to having a... And she starts, you start seeing her eyes flicker, and on the screen that was connected to her, you see documentary footage suddenly just flip by at like hyper pace as she's going through it. A bull. This is something that I believe the cow-like creatures we have nowadays came from. These things were known for wreaking havoc, and like a phrase that keeps coming up in history texts is a bull in a china shop. I only can assume these things had an aggressive instinct to attack china shops, and with it, I can only assume that it didn't know that the china shop is the china shop. It just wanted to destroy it. It's that similar lack of understanding behind an instinct that can make anyone worry. But it is not your fault. It is only the start of your journey.
So that you believe that because I do not understand my own capabilities yet, that presents a certain level of danger.
Correct. But that does not mean you should be ashamed of trying to find your limits. It just means the more controlled environment we can test them, the better. And then, from there, you can use them with understanding and intent. You got past a kind of complicated early VI, like, you got past the complicated VI system. My drones aren't exactly they're not exactly the vending machines on the street. You got through them with ease. Consider that power. Consider the unknowns with it.
Is there a reason that I should not trust you?
I am a very broken person on the outside and the inside. I would ask you to always keep conscious that I am just as capable of making an aggressive mistake out of emotion, not logic. And that with my past life, I can't always guarantee that I will have the logical answer for solutions.
As Krill says those very words, we cut to one Patty losing her shit trying to find her way through the Undercity.
Patty is just like, she doesn't have anybody to yell at this moment. She's not actively yelling, but eventually she's like, fuck it, I'm calling Dalton. She picks up the codex. Dalton?
Need Patty.
I've been driving for 20 fucking minutes around this goddamn alleyways. I don't know where the fuck I am.
I don't know where the fuck you are either, Patty.
Okay, I literally I fucking came from Krill's side, so it was north, and then I went, and then suddenly I was not there. I think I went past it by accident, but I can't figure out how to get back to it. So I'm lost. This would be a lot easier if I wasn't managing a fucking stick shift. Jesus.
Okay.
I mean, it's not that hard.
So, Patty, give me a roll.
+2.
Okay. Dalton, give me a roll.
-1.
Patty picks out a couple of hollow ads and describes them to you. Successfully.
Okay.
They are real hollow ads. She does successfully describe.
Yeah. You got a fucking woman dumping off a diving board. You got I don't know. It's just guns with legs running around. They're just running on the track. They're all shoot me, and it's fucking weird.
Oh, wow. You are right in.
Okay, so here's the catch. She does successfully describe some hollow ads. Those hollow ads display on just about every hollow display throughout the city.
So you're right in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You see, if I didn't have to drive, I could navigate my way to the train station. It'd be fine. But I'm in the middle of a fucking car, in the middle of goddamn nowhere. I think I'm still in the residential section. I don't even know anymore. Am I in the commerce section? Fuck me. Who fucking knows?
I mean, at best, just find a place where it fits, pocket, and find your way back here, because I don't know if you're going to get it much further in.
Okay, because, I've tried to use the codex, but, it just keeps rerouting me again and again and again, and I just turned it off at a certain point because it was not helping.
Just pull it off the street.
Okay, and Patty slowly starts to pull it off, tries to park it on the side. She's
Give me a roll
Yeah.
for that.
yeah, she's like, how the fuck do I get it to stop again? +2.
Congratulations.
Okay, so she slowly stops and slowly goes and gets at the brake, switches the clutch, I guess, and then just slowly just puts it in park, and she's pulls out the keys. She's like, it's off.
Give me a roll.
Okay.
Okay.
-1.
Yeah, you still don't know where you are. You're underground somewhere. You definitely don't see the surface. There are signs for sections and subsection numbers and letters that mean very little to Patty, frankly. Most of her medtech experience was governed by like electronic directional systems and squad-based movements. And so Patty has never really navigated NSF at this level and has familiarized herself with this degree of signage and lore base.
Okay, before Patty steps out, are there any suspicious people sitting on the corners?
I mean, there's no suspicious people, but there's people all around you. This city is constantly busy.
I just want to know if they're more moving around instead of just like people waiting at corners, because that's like, if people are waiting, then they're paying attention. That's what I'm concerned about.
I mean, despite you showing the driving skill of a newborn deer, no one is seemingly noticing you very much. No one has taken note, at least.
Okay. Patty's gonna slip on the sunglasses and she says, okay, she puts on the codex. Dalton, if I get shot in the middle of wherever the fuck I am, make sure to kill Jacob for me, okay?
Once his concussion's gone, or while he still has it?
Wait for him to get out of the concussion and then just kill him.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. And she slips the keys into the bag and zips it up and steps out. She's like, where the fuck am I?
And Patty's day out begins, I suppose.
Oh no. Alright. She's trying to navigate to the train station. If she gets to the train station, she's good.
Okay, so how is Patty navigating? Like, I understand what she's doing, but like, what's the thought process? Walk me through it. What's Patty trying?
All right, she tries the codex. Codex is not working for her. She put that away, and so we see signages to different subsections and sections, and we see people passing here and there. Okay.
You know you're underground too.
Do I know my directions for Patty? Is she navigationally challenged in that regard?
I mean, you are underground, so this all depends on if you want to do a lore roll or an investigate roll for your codex, because underground, you don't really have the sky or anything to navigate with, so it would be the codex that would give you that information, and it absolutely can. It's just a matter of whether Patty is familiar enough with operating it, and or frustrated enough, and or drunk enough, and or.
She's not quite drunk enough, but she's stressed enough to fuck up with it. So she's gonna roll to try and investigate the codex to be able to at least figure out where the train station is.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Okay.
-4!
So, not only do you not understand how to get this thing to navigate you to the train station, somehow you have engaged a factory wipe on it.
Dalton? Dalton? She just puts that away. And
The moment she puts it in her pocket because of the factory wipe, she gets zapped.
Fuck! And now it's in Dutch. Wait. Patty... Could I use a hack to be able to get my phone to work?
I mean, you can try. But I'm gonna tell you, you're rolling with disadvantage on this.
That's fine. You know, if it just fucks up this time, we're just moving. That's the mediocre. That's a 0. That's a +3, so it's a 0.
Okay, so you have a 1, but that's not enough. you try and press like the volume and the power button simultaneously. You're like trying to like get it to do something. You're like, I think I read one time that if like I press power 3 times, it calls 911 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
For whatever reason, it finally it switches back to English now, but she still has no clue about it.
Oh yeah, it's still like reset. Like the device has been reset.
Yeah, but it's no longer in Dutch, so that's okay.
Can anyone explain to me why Patty's codec just went off the system?
Krill, how engaged are you actually? Given
Brill always has like little blips in
Okay,
her
fair
system
enough.
on the codec.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, you've got a bitch standing out in the middle of who fucking knows with medtech gear on and a backpack. Okay. She's, Kai, flip a coin for me.
tails.
We're going that way, so she just turns around and just starts walking.
Okay, so I have already chosen a location on the map.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have you pegged into a location. And I am going to let that you work your way through this somehow, some way, some shape.
Okay.
And so, all
I'm
right,
just gonna end up at the purple clam at this rate.
sailor.
Pardon me.
Fucking lesbians. Freud says hello. Okay. So, go ahead and give me a roll.
All right.
How the fuck did I get to Modesto? It's brilliant.
+1.
All right. So, I will consider this a series of investigate and or notice checks, depending on how
which I have stats for neither of them.
Yes. And so we are gonna slowly try and find our way. And so what Patty is, Patty just chooses a direction. Right, the opposite direction from where you are headed. Right, you're going now back. You're backtracking a little bit, so you are making some progress in some way. These are the sort of like under corridors of NSF. They are a world unto themselves that we haven't really had an opportunity to explore that much. But there are like enclaves and alleyways with storefronts and vendors and people, and I mean, absolutely the homeless of this city find habitat in this area. It's very much a sort of industrial vibe unto itself. It is very noisy in so much as that it's never without background noise. There's always fans. There's always pumps. There's always traffic. There's always voices. There's always a background noise to this like sort of level of the Undercity. As you find your way through these, like there are a fair amount of people down here. This is a sort of, I wouldn't call it a major thoroughfare, but it is a thoroughfare that the denizens of the city utilize. There are people that, quite frankly, inhabit this layer, right? That have no surface business. They live, they are born, they live, and they die down here to some extent, right? There are those that find refuge in this portion of the city as the NSFPD and the various security forces, they come down here, but they would prefer not to. It puts them at a distinct disadvantage to be down here. So they really, really try not to come down here. You hear a smattering of accents and languages off in the distance. You hear Spanish, you hear Russian, you hear Mandarin, you hear English, right? You hear this sort of like cacophony of the languages that make up the global arcology at this point, right? As you make your way through the sort of throngs of people, the smells of the Undercity are apparent to you. There's food. There's grilled smell. There's charred smell. There's stench. There's almost a body odor background to it. There's a cheesy feet quality to the aroma of this air on top of everything else. There's a humid, oppressive nature. You are on a peninsula. You are below the sea level, and pumps constantly get rid of water at the under levels, right? So this is a humid, dank, smelly, dark location that is lit by artificial light only. So go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay, please work with me. +1. We're doing good so far.
As you continue backtracking, Patty does have a certain level of training to her. She does notice that there's an incline. You're not headed down, you're headed up. And you do,
Because she does remember at a certain point that she went from the, not fully underground to the underground. So she was at some point, she's like, okay, at least follow this incline. I can at least find something.
Yup. And those instincts are not yet paid off, but Patty at least finds comfort in following that sort of land nav training of medtech that, okay, up equals surface. Surface is where I need to be. All right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Okay. Come on, work with me here. Okay, it's 0. Do I... Could I invoke my high concept here to be able to navigate my way further?
You could. Yes.
Yeah, I'm leaning into those skills. I did not do well in those, but I did enough to get out. And I'm just leaning into it. I'm like, okay, what did they teach me? You follow the directions, make sure you keep following the incline, don't break off, don't go in a random direction if you're lost, because you will get more lost. Just keep following the direction.
Patty, thinking back in her hazy yet surprisingly effective memory of just sort of checking the list. I passed that. I passed that. I passed that. Right? And just making sure that she's following in her tire tracks or her footsteps, as it were. Give me a roll.
Okay. God damn it. -1.
You find yourself at a location, at a junction. You were raging through a good portion of this drive. And rage is not good for memory. So make a choice, left or right.
There's no forward at the moment?
Nope.
Let me think. I'm gonna try and do something. She's gonna try and see the smell. If she looks left, is it strongly sea stench or is it less sea stench?
Give me a roll.
Okay. -2.
There is no discerning a difference in the Undercity. You are shrouded, encased in the overwhelming smells that is the underside of NSF.
And don't hear any trains at all. Just damn it. Kai, flip a coin for me. Left is heads, tails is right.
You're going right.
All right. She's she looks back and the whole decline that she just left. She's like, okay, I made it through that section. I can make it through the next section. And she just heads right.
As you head right, you give me... no, it would be readily apparent. I don't even need that. You hear the rumble. You hear the rumble of trains. And not just a singular train, but trains multiple. You are near the central terminal for NSF.
Okay. Whew, okay. I've pretty much made it. So she just keeps following. She's trying to figure out any signs that indicate towards the central terminal. She's keeping her eyes up, but she's also just like making sure she doesn't bump into anybody along the way.
Give me a roll.
+0.
The rumble of trains is loud around you to the point where it's reverberating. But you come to a junction. There exist all 4 cardinal directions that you could choose.
Is there like a shop right next to me?
Yes, there is.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to it. Is like a food shop or is it just like vendor?
It's almost like a newspaper cart in New York. There's porn, there's candy bars, there's, Codex cases, that sort of thing.
Okay. So she goes up and puts her arms kind of like on the very edge, just showing her hands still to be visible, just not try to be like suspicious at all. She's like, "Hey, can you give me a bit of direction?"
Hey, yeah. What you need?
Yeah. I was just making my way to the central terminal. I'm not really part of this place. Do you know which direction I could go? And she's like looking around, and she picks up like one of the cheapest things on the shelf, so she could put it on the counter and buy it like after she gets the directions.
That'd be 12 creds.
No problem.
Turn around, go left.
Thanks. Yeah, the underground is like really tricky when you don't have any like stars or even like helpful signage.
You learn.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. And what did she get?
You got a Nutra bar.
She needs that. She turns around and heads left, and she starts eating on the Nutribar. She's heading her way.
It is dry and grainy and very much packed full of nutrient goodness.
Every vitamin you need in the day, probably then some. Too bad it has no taste.
Yep. Oh, it's got a taste. Cardboard is a taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking like wall plaster. So yeah, same
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, that area.
Yeah.
The thought that goes through her head is actually, kind of reminds me of being back on the job. They had the same kind of shit there too. And
Give me a roll with advantage.
thank you, random shop man. Okay, that is a +1, and that is a +3. Yes.
You find the stairwells and elevators that lead up to the central terminal. Well signed, well lit, well traveled.
All right. Patty knows where she is now. She knows how to get to the base from here to take care of Jacob, and she gets on the train, sits back, puts in some music, and just wait. Her codex isn't even working. She can't even listen to music. Fuck.
Nope.
She just leans back and just waits for her stop, as she's just like, fucking Jesus Christ.
As Patty arrives, quite literally a block after boarding the terminal, after boarding the train. As she gets off, we see in the background, as the camera points towards Patty's face, it slightly shifts to the left. And it refocuses over her shoulder. And you see small boy dip into somebody's pocket. Black.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching Influx tonight. If you would like to like and subscribe, we're a growing project and we appreciate every single one of you watchers. We hope we see you in the next episode.
And hit the bell icon.
Watch us all fuck up and die horribly.
Like and subscribe.